Toyota, they got the Texas Auto Riders, which I'm not a part of, but they exist. Texas Auto Riders Truck of Texas is a 2024 Tundra. This right here starts at $39,000. However, this is a TRD Pro. If you don't know what that means, if you look under the suspension, you'll notice a bunch of red components. Let me spin around and show y'all. So if you look down there, you'll notice a TRD suspension, larger sway bar down there, shocks, control arms, all this in the name of off-road performance. It's a brownish reddish color, kind of like clay. And you get like this cool army fatigue like flare on the side. I've talked about the new Tundra. I do like these a lot. This interior is very cool to me. Red stitching, you get the camo insert, large screen on the dash, Toyota digital dash here. I mean, similar, a little bit of a thicker steering wheel because, you know, off-road performance, even though 99.999% of these are going to be sitting on the road driving to pick up groceries, okay? There might be a few people willing to drop the money needed to really make this off-road, but for the most part, they're just going to be sitting. That's the interior. Check it out. Nice open space right there. I like it. It's clean. I mean, trucks are simple. They don't really got to go out of their way for that. What's the price of this? This is $77,000. Yikes. That's a lot. I ain't got a front. All right, so really what they have here is a bunch of trucks. We already talked about the Tundra. What I really want to talk about is the Tacoma. So here we have the 2024 Tacoma. This is as big of a deal as it possibly can get. This truck is a taco, the bread and the butterest of butter. Everybody loves these things. I lived in Hawaii. Well, the people in Hawaii have these things everywhere. Okay, I lived there for years. That's all I saw. Now, here's the 2024 model. It looks similar. This is a nice bright orange. I think it's called the Octane Orange. Has an off-road package, which is really higher ground clearance. The tires look like street tires that are just like all season, but you get the different wheels. You get the nice truck bed. The Tacoma is standard fare. This is a big deal because of how much they need to clear. It says pre-production because this whole entire thing is just plastic. So this is definitely a pre-production model. You can see down there. So even though it's pre-production, you kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. Very similar to the Tundra with the interior and how it looks from the dashboard. I do like that start-stop button right there for the TRD option. That is cool. But for the most part, this entire thing is plug and play for everything that's on there. This looks just like what you would expect. Nice center console. Off-road package, standard. Rear has a little bit more space than I would imagine, but this might be because the seats are all the way up and I wouldn't be sitting in that position. But this is standard. This is what they look like. The Tacoma, which I've also talked about on my podcast, I'm showing you the visual in person of what I talked about on my podcast. That is the 2024 Tundra. Not Tundra, the Tacoma. What am I talking about? Now, that is a big deal because everything that they have made, all the money they've made on these cars and these trucks, the Tacoma has been a top seller. So they can't mess this up. Now, they do have a really cool one here that has a bunch of off-road stuff on it. Let me show you this. Remember I told you the trend of off-road trucks and flares, and I mean, they got the full rear bed guard from ARB on here. Full truck liner. This looks properly aggressive. Even with this color, rear tow hooks in red right there, options. It almost, I know this is a badge, but it looked like a compass, which is I know what they're trying to go after. The nice gold wheels, goldish bronze wheels. I don't think there's anything different on the interior other than the color. This one is similar to that greenish color that was on the Silverados, but it's a little bit more bluish, which looks a little bit better. I do like, you get the, name nail Trail Hunter. This is cool because this looks like cement rocks. I see what they were doing. Off-road Trail Hunter. The interior doesn't look bad. I do like how this looks. Clean interior. You get the orange stitching on here with the grayish bluish. This is a better looking color than I saw before. And the overall, the car is nice looking. Well, the truck is nice looking. Same with the rear. You can see it's nice. I do like how this looks. If you're gonna go all the way with the off-roadingness of it, you can't go wrong with how this looks. That does look good. Now, what do they have next? Let's just keep on checking. Now, they do have the 4Runner. They do not have the brand new 4Runner. This is the standard one. My mother-in-law drives one of these. So the 4Runner has not been updated just yet. Soon enough, but for now, this is what they have. Standard 4Runner. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because you already know. Now, this right here, this is the Toyota Prius, the 2024 one. And arguably a nice looking car. Not because it's a hybrid, not because it looks good for a Prius. It just looks good. Regardless, this thing could have said Corolla. And we would have said that looks good. So this looks great. I can't knock this. Nice looking car. Interior is clean. I'll show you inside real quick. Simple, but to the point. Toyota isn't going to go out of the way to do stuff that isn't going to last the test of time and be clean and not look overly dated because they did some crazy design early on. The rear won't open. But there is a Prius. And I mean, this is going to sell. There's nothing else to talk about. You know what the Prius does? It's the car that gets the most gas mileage, the one that people like the most when it comes to how the stuff functions and does. Now, you could argue that an EV Prius is what's coming next, but I don't think so. I think Ford is going to hold on. I think Toyota, not Ford. You know, too many cars in my head, yo. Forgive me. They're going to hold on to that Prius for a long time until the bitterest of ends. They do have this other one. This is an electric car. This is the BZ. Let me get the name. BZ4X, which is, it's an interesting car. It's not, I'm not going to say I love it. It was a combination of a car they did with Subaru, similar to the GR86 and the BRZ. And that's what they came up with, which is, it's okay. Let me just show you the inside. The inside is where things get a little, I mean, they got the, you know, they do the light gray, which is a disaster for longevity, keeping it clean. It's just this dash that looks like this whole piece lifts up like a, you know, roller coaster. It's piano black nation under there. They got a little cloth on there. I'm not gonna, you know, stop. I don't like that interior. It's an okay car. Looks decent on the outside. I'm not feeling the interior. It's just not, it's not the business. I'm sorry. It's not the business. Let's keep it pushing. So we're going to go over to small compact cars. We got Camrys. I'm waiting for the gentleman to be done so I can talk about the 2024 Camry. But here goes a TRD Sport one. You have seen these before. Here goes a Corolla. No, they do not have a GR Corolla here, which is unfortunate. Again, they don't ever bring that. They got the regular Corolla hatchback. That's what my car looks like. Sans, the bigger wheels, the brakes, the wide flares. That's what they look like, the different front bumper. But I mean, overall, the same exact package. We're not going to spend too much time on the Corolla. We do have a Supra here. Now, this is the Supra. Now, we've known about the Supra. It's nothing new to really talk about. Nothing new for this year. Only difference they have with the manual option. This isn't a manual one. There's an automatic one. But, you know, standard Supra. Pretty much a rebadged BMW Z4. If you didn't know, we're back. Now, just talking to some people. So, another Toyota. It's going to talk about the Crown. So, The Crown is a nameplate that I talked about on the podcast that came back, that started really in Japan, and they brought that name over here. And there's a variety of different Crown vehicles. This is not the only one. There is a Crown SUV. There is a Crown sedan that you're looking at here. And I do like how these look. They have a very raised belt line, but it has a nice, it's a very large, presence here. Like, it's not bad. I like how this looks. This looks the part, and it has just nice. It has nice features. I mean, it's like I said, standard Toyota. You already know what you're gonna get. You look at the rear here. There's actually a surprising amount of utility in this thing due to the fact that it has these seats that lay flat. Then you can see the room that we have here, and it sits high. So the fact that the stands are so much higher than a normal sedan, I think bodes well for the ease, what do they call it, ingress and egress of the car, like getting in and out of it. I think that makes it actually very nice. And another thing, the front end I do like that aggressive front grill. I do like. I know it's big grills, we got Traegers on the front of our cars, but so that's just the nature of how the cars are built. Now, we saw a GR86 right over there. I can go check it out. Like I said, there's no GR Corolla. We looked at the Supra, but you do get the 86, and we already know about this. If you don't know, check my footage from when I talked about the Tokyo Auto Salon and the wide body kits for the GR86 and how many are there. Now, on top of that, that's Honda over there. We're going to continue with Toyota. We have the RAV4, classic RAV4. We also have this off-road package on them. So remember I told you, this running theme, off-road packages on SUVs that add a little bit of ruggedness to it, including the bronze wheels, the green paint. You got the roof rack up there with a little kayak. Same simple interior, it's mostly the outside. But the RAV4 is a known big seller for the likes of all small compact SUVs, starting at $28,000 if you can read that. But those are clean and to the point. You have right here, this is the Highlander. This is the Grand Highlander, which is the extended bed one. The extended larger version of the Highlander, which gives you this third row, but it gives you actually decent usable space right here. Usually when the third row is up, this whole back rear area is absolutely finished. But let's just take a look at the size. So this is the Grand Highlander. You get proper, it's dark in here, but you get decent amount of leg room. Third row seats right here. This has like that light leather, but like Alcantara in the middle. I do like that option, though you definitely got to make sure you keep that as clean as possible. And this is usually a higher trim package. See a little not carbon fiber, but like triangle pattern, little gold trim here and there. Center, nice cubby hole options over here. Like Toyota's good on the extra storage and stuff that they have here. Like you can see right here, storage here in the middle, little center thing, center console. So these are nice. These start at $45,000, but they give you the larger size. I do like the front end. Some people prefer the older front end, which you'll see over there on that Highlander. But I actually do like the fact that this newer one, that's kind of an aggressive front end that I do like. I like that one the most. And that's it for Toyota. If you're wondering, Toyota's headquarters are based in Dallas, Texas right now. So a lot of this stuff, we get a lot of the big stuff from Toyota because of how much they do here in this state now. But their stuff is nice. I have a Sienna. I didn't even show you the Sienna because they have one here, but I have one. We drive this same van, Toyota Sienna. This is in red. Ours is in silver. This is an XSE option, which has a 20-inch wheels. It has a two-tone interior, same color interior that we have. Same interior. Now, I'm not going to go too deep on this right now, but this is a Sienna. And the reason why is because I told y'all I have a review coming for our Sienna. So very soon, I'm going to be talking about this van and what we did with ours. I have a few ideas coming on what we're going to do next. I didn't get to talk about this car when I was here earlier because there was a crowd around it, but that is the new 2025 Toyota Camry. And they've substantially upgraded this front end. Obviously, this looks like it takes design cues from the Prius, but my goodness, that was a very good move. As you can see, the all electrified. This is a hybrid now, so it uses I think it's the 5th generation of the Toyota hybrid system. But let's just take a look at this interior. Now, mind you, this is a Camry, so usually people are thinking family sedan, mundane, bland, no excitement. You're mistaken. So let's check this out. Texture stitch. This is just cloth, but like the texture is a good touch with this accent line that follows from the door handle. Those design cues are nice. This one has the lighter interior, which is, I know from Toyota, this is like a soft text material, which is like synthetic. We have it in our Sienna. But if you notice here, that type of design, that texture flows all the way through the door. I mean, that's a nice touch because this could have just been this plastic, which is soft touch. But this could have just been the same thing, but adding that element. Now, I will say, keeping this clean is going to be you're going to need to get your detailing on because that's going to be, you got greasy fingers, you're eating, you're driving, that's going to be a mess. Don't do it. Now, this is the interior, clean, a panoramic roof. Like that is something new. Normally it's a sunroof, but this has an entire panoramic one that slides fairly far back. It might go back further. They could have stopped it there for the auto show just so that kids don't try to climb in and out of there. But also look at how it matches the air vents on that side. So see how the air vents are looking here? That design element comes sweeping down. It's like a waterfall that comes off of that screen in the center, which this time around, much larger screen, but you can see how it flows all the way to the air vents and kind of connects to where you can't see it. Wireless charging in the center. Cup holders, storage here, as you can see, large storage. It's a comfortable seat. I can kind of sit in the side real quick. This is me inside, what I talked about. That is a very cool design element. Down here you have, notice back there you have the USB-C, USB, the light for the airbag, wireless charging, a cubby hole there, normal drive modes, sport, eco, normal hold, parking. So it's a good design. I like it a lot. Considering the fact that this is the most quintessential family commuter sedan, this is very nice. Now that texture didn't continue in the back, but we still got soft feeling, stitched door handles, nice room. The rear passengers do get a little bit of the sunlight from the panoramic roof. I like what I see. Rear trunk area, large amount of space. Obviously, if you got to haul or move anything, it's going to have more than enough space on it. And I like the color. I appreciate the fact that they didn't just throw silver in here. They got a little bit of a bluish, greenish color going on, which I like this. Now, considering how off-pop this is going to be, this is a good car to have. And if you check that front end, what that looks like, that's much better than it was before. Prior Camrys didn't look this good, not in the front. And this is probably an XLE option. Let me go look at the rear trunk real quick to check out what this is. Yeah, it's an XLE. There is an XSE, which looks, I think it's on the ad. Let me go check it. The XXE has a little bit of a different front end. They do have it on there. This is what we're looking at here. The XLE, and this is an XSE. But you can see the difference with the Sport and how it looks on there and the grille. So that is what we don't have here. But the XLE still looks very good. I can't hate. This is a very good looking car. As you can see, I'm going to do some quick little B-roll of it. But very nice. That's a 2025 Toyota Camry. Now I'm gonna jump over to Honda because we gotta talk about, now they got something here that is special. Now I'll be perfectly frank, I'm surprised they have one here, but we got the Type R, boys. So, Civic Type R, you already know what this is. I thought about one of these outside of a GR Corolla, but I actually only wanted to do all-wheel drive. I'm not knocking this car. I love this blue color. You know, blue's my favorite color. I did not have that option on the GR Corolla, unfortunately, but I do love how this looks. I think it's great. Now, you don't know what the Type R is by now. You're living under a rock. Starts off at 44, 315 horsepower, turbo 4-cylinder. But here's the thing. Type R is a renowned and known. One of the things that we have here, you get this red, nice red interior, bucket seats, digital dash, one of the best shifting 6-speed manuals made on the market. Clean dash, which is going to look similar to all the Civics there, but red, and red on there. Even same with the rear seats. Now here's what's funny. Honda does this thing where they'll give you red bucket seats on the front, but in the rear we're only going to do black with red stitching. I don't know why. They should just continue the theme all the way to the back. But hey, if you got kids and you don't want this to get messed up or dirty like the front, I understand, but they probably want to make the front the focal point for the driver and the occupant. But standard Civic fare. The point about this car is really the performance of it. So if you look at it from the side, the fenders, front and rear, wider, more track space, 3-tip exhaust in the rear spoiler, more stronger stance, bigger wheels, stickier tires, faster car. This is, even owned in a GR Corolla, this is considered the best of the sport compacts as far as handling and track handling. Though, I mean, that's kind of splitting hairs and going by how good of a performance driver you are. But this is still considered one of the best sport compact cars you can buy. Like, one of the best. GR Corolla is right there in the same package. Everybody's going to have their difference of opinion. I like the character and the things I want on the GR Corolla outshined what the Type R was doing. But you can't go wrong with this car. So, Type R is here. 315 horsepower. Small, compact, sport compact car. One of the best that are made. And if you notice, here goes a regular Civic, which that's a sedan, which they make this in the SI version, which I don't know if this one is. This might be a sport one. This is just a sport option. But if you look at the fenders, how less pronounced they are, the interior similar, right? Aside from the seats, aside from the steering wheel and the shifter and things of that nature, but we're still looking at overall Honda as far as how the performance in the car looks, even considering this right here. This is the hatchback one, which is exactly what the Type R is based off of. So you can see where that misses the wing. The Type R adds one, wider fenders and everything, but this is the standard Civic hatchback. These start at around $31,000. Standard, I mean, these aren't the performance cars. These are Honda Civics. They are like the Corollas. They are like the Camrys. They are known to be the reliable go-to car that everybody has looked for and wanted. They do what they're supposed to do, and they do it well. Now, here's another thing. You see it. I need one of these. The Moto Compacto, the new one. They don't got any sitting around here for me to ride, because if they did, you would best believe I'd be on one right now. But I gotta buy one of these one day. But back to what I was talking about. Okay, so that's the Honda booth, but we do have some other things. We got the CRV here. That's the new CRV. That right there. CRV, similar to the RAV4 from Toyota. Classic, compact SUV. The go-to. I do like this new front end. This is very aggressive and nice looking. This has like a blackout package. I do like how that looks. Even the interior. We have like red stitching interior there. We have like a digital dash as well there. I mean, it's basic in the sense of what you are to expect, but just like Toyota, Honda is known for just building interiors and quality at a high level that will stand the test at all times. You will not run into a situation where this will not do what you thought it should do. So this is a new CRV. I mean, basic. You're familiar with CRVs if you're not. This is the rear area, trunk area. This is a hybrid one, so it has hybrid powertrain on top of the CRV. Over there, that's the HRV. So the HRV is a little bit more of a compact one. Same quality. Think of it as a smaller version of the CRV right there, but a little cheaper, inexpensive. Cloth seats inside, still the same stitching. Change a little bit of the dash interior, but still quality SUV. You can't go wrong. I mean, it's going to disappear into the field of SUVs and cars out there, but it's still a quality car. That's the HRV. Now, there's a Pilot, which I didn't show. So I'm going to go walk over there real quick. There's a certain Pilot that is important to something I talked about. It's on one of my podcast videos. It's called the Honda Prologue. And the Prologue was the car that they made along with General Motors in order to build the next EV for them. They used the Ultium platform, which was used on the Trailblazer, on the Honda Prologue, which is that car right there. The Honda Prologue was used as a combination of them and GM. However, since I said that podcast and that happened, their partnership is, I think it's over for now. But here we go. This is the Prologue. Now, personally, I like how this looks as an SUV. Now, I know you could argue like, yo, this looks like every other SUV that comes out. None of this junk looks that special. Why are you talking about it? But I like the wheels. I like the overall stance, and I like the fact that if you look at now you're gonna hear something in the background talking, but I can't help that. What you're gonna see right here, if you look, there's like a nice outside arch on the fenders that gives it a nice aggressive stance. And I like how it's flattened in the rear. It's very raked pretty aggressively. It's probably going to not play well for the outboard vision that you're going to see in the rear. But the overall car and the overall stance of it is nice. And this is all a future car. Like, it's not, I don't know when it's coming out. It's 2024. So I think about now is when you're going to see it coming out. The range on this, it has a 300-mile range that is, I guess, based on their rating when you're charging it. I don't know the full size and rating of it, but that is what they rate this at, 300 miles per charge. But it looks good, and I do like this color because if you notice, if I spin this camera around, I want you to check the colors that are in Honda's booth right now. A lot of gray, white, black. That orange car is a wrap, and obviously the Civic Type R has that blue color. But as far as the SUVs goes, this reminds me of that old school green color that Honda and Acura had on their cars. So I like this color. I like how the car looks. Now, how will it perform? What will it do? I don't know. That is still something up for question. That'll come in due time. Now, I'm a Sienna person as far as the family, but here's the Odyssey. And we drove an Odyssey. We drove one, we test drove it, we thought about the Odyssey, but we went with the Sienna. But the Odyssey is still a great, magnificent SUV. And I was sold on it, but my wife liked the other one better. But this is the Odyssey. And here's the Pilot. The Pilot was what I was talking about before I went to the Prologue. The Pilot is their large SUV, and as you probably can tell, you're like, oh, that got the same size, like off-roady type wheels. That's the Trail Sport. So you get the thicker sidewall, the tire, much better for potholes in these streets of Houston. And the interior is the same thing. You'll notice that a lot of the stitching is the same, probably keeps the pricing down and keeps the parts bin flowing when it comes to the same stitching you're using on cars, but nice interior, clean digital dash, Trail Sport on the headrest. I mean, it's standard fare. Large captain's chairs, just like the Highlander. I do like you get Pilot on the side right there. I mean, it might be a small thing. Nice interior, third row space. Captain's chairs. I do say they put these trays here, but that's the only thing I don't like about SUVs. That somebody's gonna step on this over and over and over. And it's gonna have foot on it, and you're stepping outside, and you're stepping on this, and you're trying to put your food down on here when you're eating. I just don't like when they put those trays in the middle. I know they're convenient to walk in the back, but if you're thinking about you walk outside, stepping on the ground, you come in the car, you step on that, then you go to get some food and you use that as a tray. I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling that. But there you go. That's Honda. I might swing over to the Type R one more time. They got all the lights on real quick to kind of show you what the tail lights look like. You can't go wrong with the Type R. I mean, you can't. Type R is one of the best, like I said, best sport compacts. That's it with the lights on.
Attention all attendees. If you were parked in front of NRG Civic on Light Roadway, you will be towed and not move your car shortly. Please move your car in your carpool Light Roadway. You will be towed shortly. Thank you.
Okay, that was another announcement of somebody talking about a car tow, but there goes the Type R. I already showed you the interior of it, and you're familiar with the Type R. So I'm gonna take a breather because I'm gonna walk around a lot looking at all these cars. But we're gonna go check out Kia because Kia got some exciting stuff too. Don't sleep on Kia. They've been bugging out lately. I'm in the Kia booth. You can see it behind me. Hold on, where am I at? Kia. You see it? So, Kia is, I mean, they've been doing their thing. You've seen the Telluride, you've seen the Sorrentos, you've seen the Seltos, you've seen them all. They all look fantastic. I'm gonna flip this around. I'll say one thing about Kia. They do know the importance of these front ends looking appropriate. So everything is very aggressive, sharp, angular. There's a Carnival over there. We drove that. So Kias have been looking good and good and good and good. Better and better. There goes the Seltos right there. But I'm going to talk about specifically this particular model right here. This is the EV9. Let me look you on the eyes. I like how this looks a lot. Now, I'm on the fence when it comes to the idea of an EV from Kia and EVs at this price range in general. But as far as a looks for the aggressive kind of futuristic look that this has, that I can't knock that. Now, let's talk about what this car looks like. Outside of it, looks perfect, looks good. I have a gentleman over there, he's recording a video on it too. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause that idea over there and I'm gonna jump to it over here because there's another one spinning around. So right here, and this front on this booth, this is the 2024 Sportage SX Prestige all-wheel drive. It has like this frozen matte color paint on there, and you can see the interior looks really good. I can't get up there on the stage, but here's another EV9, and I'm just gonna let this kind of spin around so you can get an idea of what this looks like. But this is what the EV9 looks like. That pearl black paint looks real good under the wheels, very futuristic looking. I like it. The rear is clean. There's no extra. Just says Kia up there. Simple, clean design. Even the rear where the charger port is, even the sides. I mean, they have obviously the rubber flares there and kind of the accent, the aluminum accent down there. I'll get into the interior on the other one, but this is the overall look on the outside. Now, obviously, this is very, kind of simple looking because of the fact that it's grayish black and it's not bold and in your face color. But the overall car is doing enough on its own that you don't have to really worry about that, especially considering how this thing looks. I'm gonna go jump on over to the EV6 because even though they have the EV9, there's a hatchback version of this electric idea they have called the EV6, and that's this guy right here. Now, if you notice, those are some beefy tires and brakes because this is an EV6 GT. The EV6 GT is their high performance one. This makes 577 horsepower out of an electric motor setup. Now, yeah, just think about that for a second. I don't even know if they have the 0 to 60 on here, but 576 horsepower, if I can get a little closer on there, and you can see that. Here's the interior of this. mean, it's lovely. You got this nice Alcantara, like soft cloth right here. Piano black, we got to get rid of. Like, here's PSA to all the car manufacturers, please, for the love, stop doing piano black. We got to figure something else out. However, back to interior. I like the green stitching, even though it wouldn't be my first choice, but the green with the blue accent LED lights that you see the full digital dash they have, flat bottom steering wheel. I mean, lovely. Bucket seats right here, the same ones that come in like I think the Hyundai N and other Kia sports type of coupes. But that's the whole front end there. The rear, if it's open. Nope, rear's locked. But I'll give you a quick peek from the back. The rear is kind of the same, simple, nothing too fancy. Most of it is up here in the front when it comes to the color and the look. But overall, it's still really nice, especially considering sunroof, rear spoiler part, and the rear end of this is that same. All the EVs have a very clean, futuristic tone. Even where you're charging in the rear is nice because it cleans up the sides here. Nice large wheels. If you hear any noise behind me, it's because they're playing the simulator right there. And that's on the EV9. So the EV9 follows the same trend, right? If you look at the two, EV6, the EV9, obviously this is more rounded hatchback style. This is more aggressive, squared off. You all see that it matches the same as far as how it looks. I don't want to get in this man's shot right here. He's getting his slow-mo, even from the dash there in the front. And I'm going to do some more B-roll of the stuff later on. But for now, this is how the EV9 looks, and how everything performs and functions. So here, I can see roof rack, spoiler, and down to the wheels. The all black wheels with the light gray on the outside, those look good. I know I'm not a fan of the gloss black necessarily, but I'm not knocking it here on the outside because of how clean it looks. Now, one thing is, this interior, they went extra crazy. Some people are not gonna like this brown. I actually do like this brown. Coming from the guy that just talked about that army greenish color, I'm sure I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I like how that looks. What can I say? Now, here's the interior of this, right? There's like a whole footrest that's coming out on the car, right here on the seat. I mean, that's the type of feature I need right now. But you see this has like an opening tunnel there, side complete dash on there, screen display. I don't know what sound system this is, but it definitely looks like, yep, it's a Meridian surround sound system, which just gotta sound amazing. Wireless charger somewhere in the center, rear, even the passenger seat gets that little footrest that I was just talking about a second ago. So that's a nice feature. Power seats right here. Now this is convenient in case you got to move this seat up. And if you notice, see how I'm moving the seat all the way up? Now this is where it gets spicy. If I move this seat all the way up, right? Let's just say you're driving somewhere long and some of us are sitting in the back. Now we have this extended back seat. Let me go show you. See that? Now they get one as well too. I think this is that all moves in the front. This is all powered. See there? All of it's power seats, but they all get the same footrest. Nice accent lighting. There's a wireless charger down there, which is convenient. They have nice large third row seat. Also, you can see all the speakers. The surround sound system is not a game. Even the headrest, nice airflow through there. But if you press this button, it kind of moves the whole seat in one shot. There's a button there and there's one here at the top. So what this does is automatically move it up so somebody can get into the rear. So if you notice it stops right there and then you can get into the rear. Now it's not a huge rear seat like a Suburban, but it's still very comfortable and very good. And when you're done, you press that and the whole seat just moves back to where it was before. That is a convenient feature, especially with this footrest over there, chair in the front. I mean, this is good. You even got the window shade right here to put on the window for the rear passengers. There isn't one on this rear window, but I would imagine somebody's probably gonna tint that out anyways. And then you have this rear section here, which would be this automatic door that comes up. It's not a massive amount of space and storage, but you have things like this outage, 125 watt. You got this controls for the seats to put them down, to put them up. So you have a decent amount here. I do wish it was a little bit more, but they would have had to make this car a lot bigger. And I think you have some storage underneath. So you have storage underneath there to put like probably the car jack, a little few items there as well. But I mean, overall, real nice. And that is the EV9.